Welcome to this explainer. Today we are diving straight into how Google is completely transforming artificial intelligence. We're moving away from those clunky, unpredictable text box interactions and heading towards an incredibly intuitive, tactile, and visually dynamic experience. For the past couple of years, using generative AI has basically meant typing a really rigid command into a blank box and just crossing your fingers. But honestly, that era is ending. We're focusing on a massive leap forward in simplified AI design today. Specifically, we're going to look at how a brand new tool called Google Pics and a completely reimagined interface, the Neural Expressive UI, are turning AI into a true, controllable creative partner.
We absolutely have to start by highlighting a universal frustration that you have undoubtedly experienced. It's what we call the roll of the dice problem. Think about it. You spend 10 minutes meticulously crafting the perfect prompt. The AI generates a gorgeous image, but maybe the subject is wearing a blue shirt, and you really need it to be red. In the old system, asking the AI to just change the shirt color would often spit out a completely different image. Suddenly the background has changed, the lighting shifted, the character's face is totally different. It is incredibly frustrating. Google's new design philosophy tackles this exact issue head-on. Their stated goal is that creating with AI should feel like creative direction, not a roll of the dice. You should always be in the driver's seat.
So let's dive into this foundational shift by looking at the new Neural Expressive Design language. This fundamentally changes the very feel of interacting with AI. And to be clear, this isn't just a fresh coat of paint, it's a total reimagining of the user experience. Google realized that if AI is actually going to act as a 24/7 personal agent, handling complex, multi-step tasks for you, the interface needs to feel way less like a command line terminal and much more like a natural, responsive environment. The whole goal is to make the technology fade into the background so your interaction feels immersive and, well, human.
What's really cool is how these tactile and visual elements literally work together to make the AI feel so much more alive. When you use the updated Gemini app, you actually feel haptic feedback right in your hands, and you see these dynamic, vibrant colors shift around. Even the typography has been completely updated to improve readability and visual hierarchy. And crucially, the microphone interface has been entirely re-engineered. Now, you can talk through really complex ideas at your own natural pace without the AI awkwardly cutting you off mid-sentence.
Plus, this new design language officially says goodbye to those dreaded walls of text. You know the ones. Instead of throwing a massive, unreadable block of words at you, the AI now designs tailored responses in real time. It seamlessly incorporates rich imagery, interactive timelines, and dynamic graphics exactly as you scroll. If you ask for a historical breakdown, it doesn't just give you a boring list of dates, it actually builds an interactive timeline on the fly. Ask for data analysis? Boom, dynamic charts right there in the chat. The AI is essentially acting as your personal, real-time layout designer.
Moving right along to our next section, introducing Google Pics, the ultimate practical application.
Google Pics applies this highly intuitive philosophy directly to visual design, and the crucial point here is this major paradigm shift. We are no longer just generating flat, static images. Instead, we are treating every single element within an image as an individual, controllable object. In the old way, a generated image was baked. It was just flat pixels. If you didn't like a part of it, your only real option was starting over with a new prompt. But the new way changes the game entirely. Now, when the AI generates an image for you, or even when you upload an existing photo, the system intelligently breaks that image down into distinct, movable layers. You finally have precise, granular control.
This brings us to object segmentation. It's a technical term, sure, but it essentially means you can finally isolate and tweak just one tiny piece of your canvas. Because the AI actually understands context now, you can grab an object, move it around, or scale it up, all without needing years of complex Photoshop experience. The AI handles all the complicated background blending for you. You literally just point, click, and edit.
To give you a super concrete example, you can select a specific object and transform it entirely, like changing the color of a sweater, or, no joke, even turning a dog into a cat, and it won't break the background of the image at all. Imagine you're putting together a presentation. You've got the perfect stock photo, but the subject is holding a coffee cup, and you'd really rather they were holding a smartphone. With Google Pics, you just select that coffee cup, prompt the AI to replace it with a phone, and the AI makes the swap. It perfectly matches the lighting, the shadows, the style, everything, while leaving the rest of the photograph completely untouched.
Let's break down this incredibly intuitive workflow. It's basically 3 steps. First, you select your specific element. Then, you manipulate it with total precision. And finally, step 3, you can even modify or translate text directly inside the photo. This 1-2-3 process is exactly what makes the tool so insanely powerful for everyday users. You aren't typing code. You aren't managing dozens of confusing software layers. You're just interacting visually with your content. And that third step, modifying text, is a massive breakthrough for anyone working in marketing, education, or global communications.
Now, this is the part that genuinely blew my mind. When you translate or modify that text, Google Pics seamlessly maintains the original design and font style. Historically, as you probably know, AI has struggled terribly with generating readable text inside images, let alone editing it after the fact. But now, let's say you have a promotional poster with stylized, shadowed typography that says "Summer Sale" in English. You can tell the AI to translate that text to Spanish, and it will accurately replace the words while perfectly mimicking the exact font, color, angle, and shading of your original design. It's almost magic.
Why this matters for your daily work is absolutely huge. Teams can now quickly update global marketing campaigns, swap out products, or resize backgrounds to fit different ad layouts in literally seconds. Think about the crazy efficiency gains here. Instead of a design team spending hours manually creating 20 different localized versions of a single advertisement, they just use Google Pics. Instantly swap out the text for different languages, tweak the background to fit a vertical aspect ratio for Instagram or a horizontal one for LinkedIn, and you're done. It empowers you to execute high-level creative direction without getting bogged down in all the tedious technical execution.
Under the hood, all of this precision is powered by Google's latest model, Nano Banana. But the real takeaway for us here is that it's integrated right into the workspace apps you are already using every single day, like Docs, Slides, and Drive. You don't have to export your work to some complicated third-party AI generator. You can literally be mid-sentence in a Google Doc, pull up Google Pics, generate your graphic, tweak it, and drop it right in. The image generation and editing capabilities are just woven directly into the fabric of your existing workflow.
Furthermore, Pics is going to offer shareable canvases. This allows you and your team members to jump in and intuitively edit the exact same image at the exact same time. Google is basically taking the real-time multiplayer collaboration that made Google Docs so revolutionary and finally applying it to visual design. You and a colleague across the globe can be looking at the same generated image, you could be adjusting the text translation, while they are simultaneously using the object segmentation tool to swap out the background. It turns AI image generation from a solitary, often frustrating experience into this incredibly fluid, collaborative team effort. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a pretty inspiring question for your own workflow. When AI finally stops being a roll of the dice and becomes a true, reliable tool for your creative direction, what will you create? This shift from rigid text prompts to the fluid, tactile, neural expressive UI, combined with the incredible object-level control we're seeing in tools like Google Pics, means the barrier between your imagination and your final product has literally never been thinner. You are no longer just hoping the AI gets it right, you are actively directing it every step of the way. Thank you so much for joining me to unpack all these fascinating updates, and I highly encourage you to think about how these simplified design tools can start elevating your own daily projects right now.